Good day, everyone. You're welcome to this week's Business and Investment Tips program, a production of RCTG Christchurch Radio with Ayodeji Ibu, an investment professional. This week, the focus is on the review of Nigeria's Q3 2022 foreign trade numbers. Last week, the National Bureau of Statistics published Nigeria's third quarter 2022 foreign trade numbers, that's from July to September 2022, which showed that the total foreign trade declined by 9.7% or 1.2 trillion naira quarter on quarter to 11.6 trillion naira from 12.8 trillion naira recorded in the quarter previous to that, Q2 2022, April to June 2022, but increased 10.7% year-on-year or 1.1 trillion naira when compared to Q3 2022. Overall, Nigeria's total foreign trade for the first 9 months of 2022 stood at 37.4 trillion naira, growing by 33.5% year-on-year. Foreign trade is the exchange of capital, goods, and services across international borders and territories. Foreign trade is also about imports and exports. All countries require goods and services to satisfy the wants of their people, and no country can produce all the goods and services it needs. The country must buy from other countries what it cannot produce, or produce less than its requirements, which is importing, and sell to other countries the goods it has in surplus quantities, exporting. The NBS's report on trade covers merchandise, trade in physical goods only. Based on the report, total imports came in about 5.7 trillion naira in Q3 2022, a 4.2% quarter-on-quarter increase compared to 5.4 trillion naira recorded in Q2 2022. Similarly, total imports increased by 6.2% year-on-year compared to 5.3 trillion naira recorded in Q3 2021. The growth in imports in Q3 2022 can be attributed to the rise in the importation of mineral products, chemicals, and manufactured. The official exchange rate depreciation of 4% from about 414.72 naira to $1 to 431.87 naira to $1 as of the end of September 2022 also contributed to the expansion in the import value. Total exports dipped 19.9% quarter-on-quarter to 5.9 trillion naira in Q3 2022, compared to 7.4 trillion naira in Q2 2022. However, it rose 15.5% year-on-year from 5.1 trillion naira recorded in Q3 2021. The quarter-on-quarter decline can be linked to the drop in the crude oil prices amid prolonged low oil production due to oil theft and reduced investment in the sector. The depreciation of naira also offsets the impact of Nigeria's low oil production. Crude oil and natural gas accounted for 91.3% of the total exports in Q3 2022. Nigeria's trade balance was marginally positive. Exports exceeded imports at 269 billion naira in Q3 2022. However, this was a sharp drop when compared to the trade balance of 2 trillion naira in Q2 2022. Exports accounted for 51.2% of total trade, while imports constituted 48.8% compared to the ratio of 58% to 42% in Q2 2022. The reduced trade balance continues to drive FX scarcity and FX rationing by the CBN. The top 5 trade destinations in Q3 2022 include exporting trade partners: Spain 14.7% or 873 billion naira, India 10.4% or 619 billion naira, France 7.3% or 430 billion naira, Netherlands 7.1% or 420 billion naira, and Indonesia 7% or 415 billion naira. Import trading partners include China 27% or 1.5 trillion naira, Netherlands 9.9% or 566 billion naira, India 8% or 450 billion naira, Belgium 5.5% or 422.3 billion naira, and the US 6.5% or 366 billion naira. Our thoughts: 1. The share of manufacturing and agriculture exports to total exports declined year-on-year by 2.3% and 1.4% respectively in Q3 2022, with the share of oil and oil-related products at 92.5%. This shows that our FX sources rely solely on oil proceeds, better explaining why Nigeria continues to experience unending currency depreciation. 2. The low manufactured exports relative to total exports continues to be worrying as the industrial sector consumes more of the country's FX through imported inputs. This brings the need for export-based industrialization rather than import substitution into focus so that manufacturing sector can contribute just as much as it takes and put Nigeria's external finances on a sustainable path. 3. Nigerians spent a total of 278 billion naira on food and beverages, primary and processed, in Q3 2022, 3.2% higher than Q3 2021, while a total of 184 billion naira was spent on passengers, motor cars in Q3 2022, 7.9% lower than Q3 2021. 4. To improve non-oil exports, the government needs to incentivize production in sectors and businesses with huge export potential that would accelerate export-led industrialization. 5. Additionally, deliberate efforts to add value to our abundant resources are essential to earn more value from our exports than exporting raw materials and importing finished goods. This will boost employment in the country, reduce insecurity, and increase FX proceeds from exports. 6. A comprehensive industrialization policy should be developed to provide more clarity on how the federal government plans to support manufacturing sector businesses. 7. Remarkably, robust infrastructure, adequate power supply, and consistent policy, both trade, fiscal, and monetary direction, should be given more priority. 8. The private sector's support is required to put these in place as government revenue continues to come under significant pressure. Thank you for listening. Please join us same time next week for another interesting and insightful session. For comments and feedback, kindly forward to ibo.ayodeji@gmail.com or send an SMS to 07082463747. Stay blessed.